Good evening, Corvair folks. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Um, got a little bit of daylight left, and I thought I'd talk about something. It's getting ready to be summertime, and a lot of you guys are new to Corvairs and heard a lot of things about keeping them cool, and they run hot, and all the usual stuff. Let me spin around so you can see my Yinko deck lid. Anyway, uh, and my race car, soon to be. Anyway, um, I wanted to talk a little bit about Corvair engine cooling and maintenance, and let some newbies know that there's nothing to fear. You don't really need to worry about driving your Corvair on a hot summer day in traffic and all of these things. All you need to do is just make sure you're maintaining it properly. Excuse me, I'm having a cider. So, moving on, let's walk over to the red Corsa. Sorry, I'm not good with a camera, so I'll just have to spin it around. We're going to walk over here to the car and talk about a few things. You don't have to worry about the Corvair running hot if you do some simple things. First, find the hood latch. It's always helpful. Okay, we're going to talk about something I think is often overlooked. I was at a car show not too long ago with a lot of Corvairs, and you wouldn't believe how many cars I looked at that had this missing, the perimeter seal, or it was torn and completely worn out that goes all the way around the engine. Hopefully you can see this as I move the camera. Anyway, it's a rubber seal that goes around the engine compartment. Okay, what's the importance of that? What's the importance of these shrouds? I've seen people take shrouds off and go, oh, it'll run cooler now. Okay. The purpose of these things is to actually keep the engine from drawing back recycled air, hot air that's come from the exhaust or that has come from the engine itself. So it's very important to keep all this intact, especially if you're doing city driving and stuff like that. That perimeter seal is very important to have. So make sure first and foremost that you have perimeter seal and your shrouds intact. Okay, can't emphasize this enough. Second of all, make sure your fan is clean and all your blades are not broken. I want to just mention one thing while I'm here. This is not to rev your engine. I know you're super excited that you just got your car running and you want to shoot a video for Facebook and YouTube. All right, if you want to lose a thumb or a finger, or if you have long hair, get sucked in, this is the worst place to put your hand, okay? You're going to lose a finger at some point. You want to move your hand over here where the throttle comes out and rev your engine from there. There you go, just a pet peeve of mine. Anyway, back to this. Fan blades, good condition, not broken, okay? Fan belt, good belt. Make sure that it's not too tight. Let's talk about a Corvair fan belt for a minute. So many people see that design and go, oh my gosh, that cannot work. So they tune it up to essentially a high E string on a guitar, ping, and think that that's going to keep it on. It actually has the opposite effect. The Corvair engine grows as it heats up, okay? So this belt, when you put it on tight, when that engine starts to grow as it warms up, it tightens up, puts a lot of stress on the belt, wears the belt out prematurely and your idler pulleys, and causes the belt to break and or flip off, okay? So check your belt tension by using the alternator fan blades and making sure that you can turn that alternator while the belt is on, okay? While the engine is cold as well. And you guys can say I'm crazy, but I run my belt fairly loose and I do not lose belts. Magnesium fan is a big help. That was a huge improvement that GM did in 1964. Moving on. We talked about perimeter seal. Let's talk about your oil cooler. I don't know if you can see this. It's getting dark out, and I hope you can see my finger here. What I'm pointing to, if we can see my finger, there's a little plate down here below the alternator, and I don't know if you can see this or not, but we'll talk about it later. Every time you change your oil, remove this plate. Your oil cooler's inside there. Your oil cools your engine along with the air. Very important you keep the fins clean on these, okay? So open that up, make sure it's clean of debris, brush it off, so on and so forth. Oil, make sure you have oil. 10W30. Timing. Timing is another crucial component to keeping a Corvair engine cool. Okay? A lot of times folks will retard their timing. They're always fighting that battle with the ping if they're using lower octane fuel, or could be a vacuum leak, could be improper jetting on the carburetors, could be a carburetor malfunctioning, leaning out the mixture. So people retard the timing to eliminate ping and spark knock. You're actually making the engine work harder once you do that. So it's a fine line between advancing timing enough to get the ultimate performance out of the engine and keep it from pinging, but when you do that, it also helps the engine to not have to work as hard, and you want to make sure that you're not constantly retarding timing. Retarding timing makes the engine work harder and run hotter. Moving on. We're going to talk about these down here. These are and I hope we can see them, these right here, these are your heater shrouds and your flapper door. Your thermostat's down inside there. This one's kind of already closed back up. This one's getting ready to close up. Very important. Here's another thing. People take these off. I drive this car in Georgia. I live in North Carolina, but I have family and friends in Georgia. I go to Georgia when it's 90 degrees outside and drive it around Atlanta. I leave my heater shrouds on. It's important to me for engine to warm up properly, for good oil circulation and less engine wear. Just like taking a thermostat out at a water-cooled vehicle, it allows that engine to run too cool, and running too cool increases engine wear, it slows the flow of oil, yada yada yada. So somebody might argue with me till the end of the world that you got to take your heater shrouds off. You don't need them unless you're running your heat, blah 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 blah. I believe in leaving those on because well, first of all, I live in North Carolina, so it can be 40 degrees, 50 degrees sometimes on a summer morning. So I leave these on year round, and my car does not run hot. But all the things that I just discussed are all intact. So we're going to move on. We're going to talk about the fan shroud, which is this big piece right here, and my sider's pointing it out to you. We're going to walk back over here to the garage. Hello, Conifer. Fan shroud. If you just bought a Corvair, it's been one thing. Let's go back over here one more time. I just scared the cat away. Left out an important thing. This guy right here, over here back by number 5, there's a fresh air vent that goes to blow fresh air to your heater. So I guess so you don't die of carbon monoxide. You want to make sure this is closed off. If you're a stock freak, you can always close it off and then attach a vent hose through it and run it up through there. That's your choice. But make sure this is closed off. You are taking cooling air away from cylinder number 5. So unless you like drop valve seats on number 5, or you just like running hot and pinging, that's your thing. But I would always block that off in the fan shroud internally, put the hose back on it if you like the stock look. Okay, now let's talk about this fan shroud. This fan shroud here, if you just bought a Corvair, you want taking it out of storage, critters get inside these things, and there's my Yenko decklet again, and my Corsa dash. Anyway, critters get inside there, they store their nuts. Mice get in there with they bring all kinds of stuff. You won't believe what you'll find in here. Body parts, all kinds of things. Take this thing off. Remove your carbs. Take your distributor off. Well, no, you don't have to take your distributor off unless you got a big fat distributor cap. Take all your top part of your engine off. Take the belt off. Take this shroud off. You never know what you're going to find in here, and you're going to have to clean it out. See, is it squirrel? White squirrel. We have those in Brevard, North Carolina. It's a raccoon, and there's debris. There's all kinds of stuff. Part of a thumb, finger maybe missing. You'll find all kinds of things. These are your cylinders. These are what keep your engine cool, these little fins on here, okay? Clean all this out. Blow it out. Get a leaf blower, compressed air, whatever floats your boat, pressurized water, whatever works. Clean it out. And if you're so inclined and you want to make a good day of it, deflash these heads. The casting from GM, there's bits of aluminum and all kinds of stuff that's stuck in between these fins here. And you want to clean all that out. It really helps to keep your engine cool. So I use a drywall blade. Let's see if I got one handy. I don't know if it's close by. Something that'll work. Well, I'm not going to dig through all my tools. It's in there somewhere. But you can find a drywall blade. It's pretty easy to find. Got a pretty good serrated edge on it. And you just cram it down through here and cut that casting out. And what I do, if it helps, so you can see what you're doing, is I shoot a fluorescent light up through the bottom of the engine. It enables you to look down and see all the junk that's left in there from casting at the factory. So you can actually watch yourself, or watch the stuff get cut away as you move the saw blade, and also make sure you're not cutting into something important. I think that about covers it. I hope to see some of you guys in Helen, and looking forward to autocrossing and some other fun stuff. You have a great weekend, and happy Corvairing.